a new episode of Nobody Asked Us with Des and Kara, presented by Brooks Running. Desiree Linden, how are you today?
Big energy. You stepped out of the library. We're at the party.
She's fired.
I'm excited. I'm healthy again. We've had to push the date on the recording here because I had a head cold. But I'm back.
I'm pumped. I haven't seen you in a little square for a while. I haven't talked to you. We took 40 minutes to gossip and catch up with each other.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
In the vault of the show that ends all shows. Just the little vault that Chris has.
We should be taking notes, and someday we'll have the burn it all down episode. How are you doing? You have so much running coming up. How are you, first of all, running aside? There was a marathon in your hometown this weekend. Tell us.
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
I know.
It has been a while, and hearing all the stories was fun. There's a lot to catch up on still, I think, but feel a little bit better. I got my footing with Kara's World. I'm good. I'm finally healthy. I spent a couple days at Brooks. By the time I made it home, so under the weather, which was not great for Western States training, but I feel fine. I've had some good runs since then. And we got a family BQ in the house. Ryan went out to Charlevoix Marathon. Crazy day. You had grandma's that same day, and we had the same weather. There's just storms and warm and pouring rain, like torrential downpour, windy. Someone was walking by and they were like, "Is this a lot like Boston in 2018?" I was like, "It's like 70 degrees."
So you're actually no.
No hypothermia today, but I get it. There's still a struggle in it. So yeah, Ryan, he wasn't thrilled. His hip was tight the whole time. So he was like, "I'm just got to get the qualifier and not do anything stupid." And now his back is super sore.
But he has so much time to recover now.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of because he got the call up the other day. We had a buddy, Ruth Croft, couldn't make the Swiss Alps trip. And so everyone was kind of hemming and hawing. And then we're like, "You want to ask Ryan?" And I was like, "Be sure. I don't, this is not for me." And they're like, "Yeah, let's see if he wants to go." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I can do it." So he's got about a week to get his back fixed.
Okay. Yeah. So tell us, you have a lot of running coming up. And can I just say, you went to the Western States training camp.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, I was sore." But when I watched the video of you running there, you guys were fucking flying on those trails. I just imagine I imagine a little bit easier running. I don't know. It looked like legit running. I was like, "Oh shit, she does need to be fit."
I feel like it's 8:30 pace probably.
Yeah, but maybe, it's technical.
And then it's not that technical, which is good. I think I'll probably need to be going about 7:30, 8-minute pace, I'm guessing. But I do feel like when you do the sort of effort level, it's probably 6:30-ish.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's not nothing.
It's good that it looks like we're flying.
It looked real. I was like, wow. In my mind, I just expected it, I don't know, to just look not like you're not running. Obviously, the running's super fast, but just a little bit more
cruisy.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, no, they're really running. So you had a successful camp, and now tell us, you have a lot of running coming up.
So I'll pace 18 miles for Joe, and he'll be at mile 60 or 70. So hopefully he won't be flying. I mean, I hope he is, but not too much, because it's late in the race. But I'll pace 18 miles, and then hopefully my quads are not as destroyed. That literally took me about a week to get my legs back under me. And then we'll fly to Geneva. Ryan got the call up. He's going.
Good.
Pack all our shit in a bag. I think it's a 17-liter bag, and do a hut-to-hut through, or I guess it's from Verbier to Zermatt. Someone will correct me, I'm sure. It's 19 to 20 miles a day.
And how many days?
I think it's 6. Most people are like, "Oh, it's a 9-day trip." And our friend Andy's like, "Nah, we got to get back to work. So let's chop it up." So yeah, there's one 11-mile day, but it's obviously the most vert. Yeah. So hopefully I survive that.
You will. And then okay, we'll have to decompress on both of those experiences when you get back. Obviously, we'll be in person when we get to
Oh
do
yeah.
that,
Oh
because we have
yeah.
pod retreat when you get back. But will you take a break after that? Or will
Probably
you just
like
kind of see how your body is?
Probably just like maybe a week of shuffling easy running. I actually don't think this will be like famous last. I don't think it's going to destroy me because I think it's going to be a lot of hiking.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see. I'll know by day 2. And then I'll probably have to look at the calendar and really think about getting ready for the 50 miler if
And
I'm
that's in
doing that.
November.
Yeah.
I hope that you're I'm not running right now. I'm taking a break from running, but I hope to return to running. And I hope that when we're at pod retreat, you are beat up so I can run with you.
Oh yeah. We should also talk about Fifth Ave Mile.
Oh, yeah, we should. But how are you going to do that?
It's a mile. I don't think it would really interrupt much.
How fast do you think you could rip 1 mile?
I bet 4:48.
Oh my God, that would be iconic in the middle of everything
Maybe.
you're doing right now.
Not right now. Like I feel like if I really trained, I could maybe get down to the sub 450.
Right, but you're also going to be training for the 50 miler.
Yeah. I ran a 2:26 800 in my marathon buildup. I was like, that's like pretty,
That's legit. Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
I might be able to turn it over. Little
Okay, well,
downhill.
you go for 4:48 and I'll go for
You could get under 5.
5:50.
Get under 5.
I felt like I could. I actually was training a little for this and I was having, I was like feeling pretty comfortable at like 2:55 for the half, but
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks out from the 5K, I just started to get that. Like I always have dystonia. It's always there, but it just
Mm-hmm.
started to get a little bit worse. And I had this one workout I wanted to do for confidence, which was 800, 400, 200, a few reps. And I guess it was like maybe 8 or 9 days out from the race. And when I was warming up, I was like, I probably shouldn't be doing this. But I'm there. I'm at a track. I drove all the way into town. It's a 25-minute drive. And the 800s were really fun and effortless. I was running like 2:54 and they were super easy. But then the 400s they were fine, I guess. But the 200s, I just had to I was trying not to trip. Like I felt
Mm.
like my left leg was going to get caught on the rail because I couldn't pick it up fast enough. And ever since that day, my body's been shot.
Like, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah. And so people are like, oh, does dystonia hurt? Dystonia doesn't hurt. But what hurts is that because my dystonia is so bad, I literally cannot feel my leg. So my body subconsciously lands super hard so that I feel the impact so that I know that I've landed.
Yeah.
And so that's what hurts is then my knee and my hip and everything else get really, really sore. And my muscles get really sore. And I shouldn't have never done that last workout. I should have just been like, it is what it is. And I want to run this 5K and I want to have fun. And, but anyway, so now I found myself in quite a hole, having problems walking. So I'm taking a break from running right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Little breather necessary.
Little breather.
How was the 5K? Was it like an enjoyable experience or you just like suffered through it?
I mean, it was one of those days where every step I felt like I was going to fall. So I had to think with every step. But I will say it was still fun somehow because so many people were cheering,
Yeah.
And I could see Colt way ahead, which was really fun. And everyone was so freaking friendly. And can I tell you, though, that a 13-year-old and a 12-year-old went 1-2
That's annoying.
in the race. And they lined up, they just let me line up at the start because whatever, it's Duluth. And there's these three little girls that lined up on the start as well. And I was like, okay, girls, come on, Oh, no, they were gone.
Yeah, just cranking.
Yeah, and I had these hopes to run 18:45 and to be top 3, but it was I knew even driving in that's not going to happen, but maybe I can still run a decent time, but it wasn't my day at all. And so yeah, I haven't run since then. I probably won't run for a couple weeks cuz
Take a break.
I'd set myself back pretty bad.
We are also you have lake life going on right now.
Lake life going on. Yeah. Yeah.
But
no,
are you getting
still
on tubes or are you water skiing?
I have I haven't done anything yet, but I'm super motivated because Colt, I drop skis. I'll drop a ski to slalom, but Colt got up on one ski yesterday. And now I'm really motivated to try to make that happen in the next week or two. I've never gotten up on one. So that's kind of like my new goal until I can run again.
There you go.
Yeah.
Need goals. I like it.
was so
How
impressed.
what else was going on in Duluth? You worked on the call for grandmas. How was that?
It was good.
How are the races? Anything exciting that you want to
I mean,
shout
it
out?
was really fun to see Dakota Popain and Annie Frisbee had an awesome back and forth in the women's half marathon. They did it. They just had a great race. They changed leads quite a few times,
That's cool.
and they were hurting. Like they're both
Yeah.
not in a place of training that they were like fresh and ready to do it. But so they just grinded it out. Like you could see it on their face. Where our booth was about 3/4 of a mile to go. And they went by, and at that point, Dakota was
Fighting.
in the lead, and Annie was
Yeah.
sort of hunting her. She was about 3 seconds back, and you could just see it on their face, their body language, like, I'm dead, And you've
Yeah.
never been to Grandma's, but the half and the full are the same course. The half just starts halfway up, obviously. And it's just a straight line until 2 miles to go, and then the turns start, and then the last mile has a ton of turns, right?
Yeah.
So it's brutal because you're tired and you can see the finish line, but then you go out for another mile. But
That's pretty funny.
they ran awesome. And then it was really exciting because Joel Reichow, who's in Minnesota,
Local
born in
boy.
Minnesota raised, he won Grandma's Marathon, and he became the first person to ever win the marathon and the half. And Dakota
Oh,
was trying to
nice.
do that before him, but she ended up getting beat by Annie.
She hasn't gotten the half yet.
Not yet. I know.
Okay.
And she's like run fast too. She ran 68 low last year, but Annie ran
Right.
67:30 or something like that. So
Did Dakota run faster this year than last year?
no, but it was definitely more
It's
humid.
69.
The wind was
Yeah.
69 low, I
Okay.
think, in Dakota, maybe 69 something for
Oh,
Annie and
something.
69
Yeah.
teens for Dakota.
Okay.
And it wasn't as fast of
Sticky.
a year. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was sticky for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it was
Nice.
fun.
And you also just did an outing at Brooks PR. How was that? What's new in Brooksland? What
I was
shoes did you
excited to
wear?
go. I was excited to go by Brooks. You're the shoe queen. I got to see a peek of something secret, but I'm the apparel person. So I was excited to meet with the apparel team and talk about what's coming up. And then, be at Brooks PR, which is a high school meet. It's an invitational. Does the times these kids are running are just like, it's crazy. Like I had to think when Jane Hendrickson won in a national record setting 2 mile time, she became number 8 all time
Right.
American woman, but she came through the 3K in 8:40. And I was like, wait, did I run 8:40? Like I had to think, like, is she faster than me as a pro? And I am still faster for like probably a day. I ran 8:34, but I was like the kids were amazing. There was a national record in the 800 by Cooper Lukenhaus, and he just reset it again a couple of days ago or yesterday, maybe he ran 145,
Jeez.
45. So it's just like the 800 was 1 and 201.
Right.
Like Adam was holding the finish line tape and he kept going, what are we seeing here? Like what's happening? And Kurt Colt's there just like hoping to qualify someday. And I'm like, I don't know. It's pretty fast.
Keep pushing, kid. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy to see what the kids are doing, but it was good. It was really fun. You were just out at Brooks too.
I was. It was fun. It was with the road team, the professional road runners. Yeah, just doing all the meetings and seeing how everyone's doing. And we got the whole women's world championship team, which is really
I
cool.
know.
They're
That's so
amped.
cool.
They're tough to run with. Like we got out the door on a 10-mile run, and I think that's the fastest first mile I've had in 6 years. It was 7 flat, 0.04 or something. I'm like,
Out the gate.
okay. And it was 6:40, 6:30, and I was like, I'm turning around soon.
Yeah.
So they're all in great shape. It's awesome.
That's awesome. It is really exciting that Brooks has the entire women's
Yeah.
marathon team. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And such great storylines. I mean, Susanna Sullivan has been there before at the World Champ. She ran in Budapest. But Erica Kemp, it's her first World Championship. Jess McLean, it's her first World Championship on the roads or track anyway. So it's exciting to see them go. And it's cool that they know each other and that they're teammates for Team USA, but they also have this other teammate aspect of being Brooks athletes.
Yeah, I think these trips are really cool because it creates like camaraderie, even though they are competitors and they're not wearing like a team kit. It's like they're all Brooks athletes and they feel like they can work together in a like to a degree, and like they're definitely rooting for each other and cheering for each other. And then obviously you have your individual goals, but it feels like there's real good energy that's supportive, whereas a lot of times it can be like just competitive. So
Right.
it's nice to have that balance for them,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Cool. Cool. What
What
else?
else?
Anything
What else
else?
is new?
I actually can't think of anything on my end.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm excited because Prefontaine is coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Back to work on the mic for NBC. I'm excited to get into. I haven't called any outdoor track meets this year, so I'm excited about that. Um, but yeah, I
What
don't
are the
know.
fields looking like? Do you know yet?
I haven't
They've been
gotten a start
slowly
list.
announcing them,
Yeah,
right?
they kind of roll them out slowly. I know the men's 1500 is looking really good. I'm not, I think that Ingebrigtsen is on the line. I mean, he was announced and now it's unknown, but he
Hmm.
hasn't, I don't think he said for sure that he's definitely out because he's been injured, but he's been coming back.
Yeah, he's a
But I
Nike guy though. They'll probably
be like, you need to be there.
just why don't you
Yeah.
just start and see what happens?
Yeah. Hawker will be there and Yared Nagus will be there and a bunch of other really great men. So, Um, but I don't know if they've announced the women's. I guess I haven't been paying attention enough. I'm like, I'm excited about that, but I have no idea what's even
Yeah.
being run there.
You just know it's going to be good. Prefontaine's always
It's
like
always
a
good. Yeah.
high quality meet. You get at least the Nike athletes for the most part, and
Yep.
then they want high quality fields. So
Yeah. I know Fisher
should
will
be
be
good.
running the 1500 there too, which will be super
Oh, that's wild.
interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
good for him.
And I think he'll do well. I
Yeah,
think he's been mixing it up and his kick is good, at least from what we've seen. So, or he was announced for that field anyway, but I to be honest, I haven't checked lately.
yeah. I'm sure it'll shuffle a little bit, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen any announcement that he's in a different event. And it's also that will be the what is that the 10,000 meter qualifier for the Kenyan teams? Is that the
Yeah,
one?
listen, I don't get this. I've never gotten it. I didn't get it when I was a Nike athlete when they did it in 2011. I didn't get it when they did it last year. I don't get it now. Getting Kenyan athletes to fly to the United States to a difficult city to get to for your trials. What am I missing here? Like people will argue with me because I've said this before and they'll say it's great for the United States. It's great for people to see them. Of course it is. But you don't see Ethiopia trials over here. You don't see Germany's trials over here. You don't see France's trials over here. You don't see Canada's trials over here. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, imagine if the United States 10,000 meter trials were in Kenya. That would never happen,
Right.
right? I don't get it.
It is an odd decision.
Like, tell me your thoughts. Am I the only one that thinks this is so wild?
No, I fully agree, and it's like not even in the main event. It's its own like little distance night.
Right. It's not even in the big window on the TV
Right.
with people
Not
that
going
are
to
going
get
to
on
be.
TV.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess like maybe they're like, oh, like Eugene will get packed and people get to watch it. I'm not sure,
I mean,
but I fully agree. It doesn't make a ton of sense.
I get that Nike has a lot of influence on their Athletics Kenya
Yeah,
and are they help support it a lot and I get all of that, but my question is it really the best? Maybe it's great for Nike to have them. They get to bring them on campus afterwards or whatever, right? They're not all Nike athletes, but
right. It's the other
Nike is the sponsor of Athletics
athletics Kenya.
Kenya. But is that the best situation for the athletes? Like you're going to make your Olympic or your world championship team, excuse me, and you have to fly across the world. I mean, coming from Kenya, you've been to Kenya. It's not
Took
like,
a
oh,
while.
it's just one stop, two flights, one stop. It's a full, right? I mean, you've been to Kenya. It took how long did it take you to get there and back?
What was it? I think you can do Amsterdam to Eldoret or Nairobi to Eldoret, and then a drive to E10. It's a while.
Yeah.
It's a long trip. I mean, I guess there is some like upside to like, hey, how is our world championship team going to travel, and how are they going to respond to being somewhere different, and like, I don't know. I
But
don't.
if that's
I
the goal, then why isn't
agree.
the entire distance squad coming
Right.
over?
It's
You know what I
brought to do the
mean?
same thing. Right. Yeah. It's not. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but. I guess if you're hosting a 10,000 and you're looking for a track and you're like, what's the best track in Kenya for this? Where's the best surface that's not at altitude that we can get our standard? Um, but yeah, I'm sure there are better places than Eugene too, though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I'll be there and I'll watch it and it'll be great. It just blows my
Sure.
mind. Every time it happens, I'm like, who made this decision?
Yeah, like
How is this
I do
beneficial to
wonder,
the athletes?
how is Ethiopia picking their team? Like, do they just use descending order lists from? Oh, they potentially are doing a trials, right?
I think they do a trials, but I don't think it's I think they have a trial system, but it's also discretionary. So
Mm,
someone could be selected in.
yeah,
Um I mean, that's how a lot of countries do it. Is like they host a trials and maybe they take 2 from there, but then they select
right.
someone else. So, I mean, if Faith Kipyegon has a bad day at the Kenyan trials, she's still being named to the
This is
team.
going to be on the team, yeah, right.
Yeah. So,
All right.
yeah, that'll be interesting. I'll report back.
Okay. Yeah, please do. Well, track's on the mind. What else is going on in the track world? Anything interesting, Kara?
I mean, there was kind of thanks for making me say it. So there was a pretty big announcement in the track scene, which is this year there was a new league called Grand Slam Track to compete with Diamond League. And we've talked about it a lot on here. And we talked about how we felt like it was getting some life. And I felt like the third stop in Philly was excellent, minus the fact that the distance athletes only got to race once. It seemed like there were a lot of crowds, a lot of excitement, a tighter TV window, which I thought that was a better job, the coverage. And and on the heels of that excitement, it was the last stop is in LA. It's going to be amazing. And it got canceled.
Yeah.
What did you think
That
when you
was like
heard
a
that?
bombshell, right?
Yeah.
So many things. I mean, I guess like we can go into theories, but eventually. But I think initial reaction was just like so many, like, damn,
What?
like,
Yeah.
yeah, what happened? How is this gonna impact the future of the league? How does it impact the athletes? Um, I don't know. I guess like from the athlete perspective, because it didn't sound like they had any insight to this ahead of time. It was like
No,
they
I was
kind
talking
of
to an
got the
athlete heavily involved with it literally a few days before who was
yeah,
talking about LA and their excitement about LA. And then it was seriously like 3 days later,
yeah,
they were told hop on a
boom.
call and they were told it was canceled. I don't know why I'm laughing because it's not
No,
funny,
well,
but
yeah.
it's
I
just
think
shocking.
as an athlete, I just would have been pissed.
Right.
That's how I would feel probably. But it's been interesting because it's been pretty quiet from the athlete side.
I
Um,
have been shocked. Okay, so it got canceled without really any. Michael Johnson did a video and said, I want to be transparent, but then he didn't really tell us why it got canceled. And he said all of the objectives had been met and they proved that it worked, except for that the objective was a 4 series, was like a series with 4 meets, and athletes signed on to the series, thinking they were going to get paid for 4 meets and have 4 chances at competition. So that was interesting to me. But the athletes have been either quiet or have thanked the league. That's what I've seen. I have not seen a single athlete say anything like, this was terrible. I can't believe this happened. The only person I've
yeah,
seen do that was Bobby Kersey, the coach of Sydney McLaughlin-Lerone. He said on his Instagram, like, this is ridiculous. Like these athletes, I don't know exactly what he said, but basically he came down on them a little bit for the cancellation.
he seems incredibly meticulous about planning out a schedule, so I can imagine he was quite frustrated. Like, oh shit, this whole calendar.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Masterminding it in his
he's
basement.
his own episode
Yeah,
we
for
could do
sure.
one on. But, the fact that Sydney was committed to all 4 of these slams was huge news to begin with,
Right.
because she typically has not been an athlete that races a lot. And then the last one was in LA, which is where she lives. But he said it was disappointing. And I when I heard the news, I immediately felt frustrated for the athletes. You haven't tried to get yourself into Diamond League races. You've said no to other opportunities because you're committing to this other opportunity. You're getting prize money that's guaranteed, but then you have this opportunity to win all this prize money as well, right? So you have your appearance money, and then you also have this prize money. So it's guaranteed whatever you had worked out with your appearance, but then you're also getting potentially of up to $100,000, right? If you win the slam. And it's an opportunity to race 2 more times, right? That you were planning on in your training, in your buildup. Most of these athletes signed on in the fall or early winter. And so my immediate thought was like, I feel so bad for the athletes because they haven't been talking to Diamond League. I mean, maybe they have for later in the season, but some of these opportunities, like where Nico Young ran 12:45, like that wasn't discussed because you were in Grand Slam and you have to be ready for that. And I thought they must be so frustrated because not only is it a huge financial loss, but it's an opportunity loss and training and performance loss. But I was talking to someone from Grand Slam this weekend and they said, yeah, but they made more money than they normally make. And I get that, but I also am like, but that's not what they were promised.
Right. Yeah, that ain't it. I get it, but yeah, that's like a shiniest turd argument.
Right.
That's still a turd, even though it's shiny. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's the video to me was like so frustrating. Like I would love to know if the athlete conversation and meeting really answered questions, and maybe it's like, okay, we know where the future is, or we have a grip on what happened, and we're content because we know that this is the plan going forward, or this is how we're going to be compensated, or whatever the answers are. But to say you want to be transparent, and then I don't know, it seemed like a blatant lie.
Yeah.
Like those two things just didn't, like, to start. You don't have to make the video at all. That's fine. You don't have to start the video by saying you're going to be transparent. Or if you do, you can just be transparent. So all those things left me going like, I don't know how much I'm into this in the future. But yeah, I feel for the athletes. And I think that, I guess, to this person's comment that it's better than they've been paid before, maybe they're like, okay, well, that is true. And I hope that next year that opportunity is still there. So I'm not going to say anything. But I also think back to when this league was announced, and we talked about this on our podcast. It was like, don't shit on the Diamond League because you think this is the future and this is better than anything that's ever happened, because you might find yourself in a scenario where you're going back to those events and they go, you know what, you kind of spent your whole last year shitting on us, so why would we have you back?
Yeah.
So it works both ways, I guess.
I was thinking, I was a track athlete for a lot of my career, and I was thinking, would I be confident to sign on in year 2, knowing that year 1 was promised, these 4 competitions and was promised this big finale in LA, and that got canceled. Like, would I don't know if I would be nervous to sign on to it but maybe granted, I'm almost 47. So my track career was in my early 30s and late 20s. Maybe back then I would have been like, it's worth it. I don't care. I'll have an opportunity race and I'll get paid.
Do you think there will be a distance if they have a year 2? Like, do you think
don't.
distance will be featured at all?
I think that distance will maybe be a one-off, which was interesting because they had their racers of the year, and the distance woman won everything. But because she didn't get 2 races at the last race, she wasn't up she wasn't up for athlete of the year. And like, just things like that, I think, are bad. Right. How can you have a racer of the year when you have a group that wasn't given the same opportunity? She won everything, know?
Right. She was the racer of the year.
Of the year. Yeah. I mean,
in equivalent. Yeah.
Yeah, but she wasn't even eligible for it. So like, just things like that, I think, are a misstep. Yeah, I don't know.
What changes would you make? Like, anything that jumps out immediately? I mean, obviously having the 4th slam, but beyond that.
Definitely having the 4th slam. I thought we were going to record after the Philly one. I don't know if we ever did. I was going to give it a lot of props. I felt like it moved around. It moved through quicker. The races were interesting. I felt like they got them started quicker. I did think it was, for instance, Josette Andrews was planning on, she got in as a challenger, and she was like, I'm ready for a good 3K, 5K. And then she found out that they were only going to run the 3K. So she was able to add a race last minute, and she went over and ran 14. What did she run? 14:26 or 14:20
Yeah.
some 14:20 something crazy, right? But I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know. I think that they need to know who they are. Right? And we talk about this with Save the 10,000. If the concept is money and head-to-head competition, then be that, but be all in on that. I don't see a future where they have distance. I just don't see how it works. And maybe they do have distance as a one-off, but then that's not who you are, right? You're supposed to be back-to-back challenges with people. So I think they're going to rethink their entire premise.
It's an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Like, who are you, Grand Slam?
Yeah. And I heard that they're looking, and even when I was talking to them about maybe working with them for the broadcast, they said that they were thinking about indoors and stuff for next year and stuff. I just think that's where the transparency would be actually so great. I mean, it is distance out? Do you think distance is as important as the other events when you're only running one? Like, does it still work with the concept? I don't know. What do you think? What would you change, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think across the board, I just would have stuck to my guns, like just get through the season and see what works and what doesn't. And I know they were like, we have to be nimble and we have to listen to the fans and we have to change on the go. Now, in hindsight, I'm like, did they, or was that an investor being like, change or else? But if you've invested in this vision, like, give us the chance to do the whole block and then let's sit down afterwards and see what works and what doesn't, and then make
Right.
those changes. I think there was some obvious flaws from the jump, and that like the 3 hour or the 3 day multiple hour TV window was just way too much. But I mean, and this is hindsight, like they made those adjustments and changed it and you saw improvements, but like, I guess at what cost, because then you lose who you are and what you're trying to do. And like, maybe it would have developed and maybe people would have been like, oh, like these stories got better that we put in the window, or this didn't feel so slow because the way they were showcasing the athletes improved, instead of being like, let's just trim it down and, you know, change who we are and change like the concept as a whole. But it makes you again wonder, like, where was that pressure coming from? Was it really the fans' response, or was it money, or was it an investor? Or it was kind of the same. But um yeah, I don't know. I guess I would have liked to see it done to the full extent, and then changes made with like a pause and some clarity, and like, okay, next year this is how we move forward. But I have no idea what the money situation was and who was pulling the strings there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, it'll be interesting to see if any athlete says anything, but at this point, I don't think any athlete will. It's been a couple weeks. No one said anything. Um, I would love to put a microphone on Cole Hocker or Grant Fisher, because they both, well, Grant Fisher hasn't, but Cole Hocker ended up going over to Europe and running a 5K, and just say, what, like, how did this flip the rest of the season for you? Did it impact you or not? How did this change the way you viewed the rest of the season? Or ask Josh Kerr. Josh. You could ask him. But I don't think we're going to get those answers. So anyway, it was pretty shocking. But
I hope someone asks. Like, I think Cole was over at the Diamond League in Europe, and it was like, I don't know if it was Diamond League or just a European race, but there was an interview, like a previous interview, and like, no, like it's the elephant in the room, and it was just like, you're not going to ask this? Like,
right.
are you
How is
kidding
no
me?
one
Like,
saying, Cole, how do you feel about Grand Slam not having the final race?
yeah,
Yeah.
I hope somebody asks, and I hope that media that says they're media, but is partnered with the event can still be media and not just be PR, if that
Right.
makes sense.
That makes a
Like,
lot of sense. Yeah.
there's if you're media, ask the questions. If you're PR, change your name.
Yes. That's a great point. Well, maybe we'll learn more. Maybe we won't. But we were both shocked by the news. We were texting each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always fun. Never a dull day.
Never a
in the
dull
running words.
day. Okay, there's something I really want to talk about.
Okay.
Which
Is
is
this
Faith.
on our agenda, or you like
No, it's on the
lit
agenda.
up? Okay.
It's Faith Kipyegon's attempt at sub 4 minutes in the mile, which is happening on Thursday.
Yeah.
So for context, the world record, she has it at 4:07. Her 1,500 meter PR is equivalent to 4:06 mid. And she's going to try to run sub 4 on Thursday. She's going to have shoes that are not approved by World Athletics. She's going to have some new clothes that are, I watched this whole thing on how they are made out of plastic and they fit her body. They're super thin. And she's going to have some sort of pacing situation. And so it will not be eligible for a world record, the shoes alone. But also it sounds like maybe this pacing system, the clothes are fine. I mean, I don't think there are any rules on clothes. So she did wear an earlier prototype of the shoes that had been approved at her first race of the year, which was a 1,000 meters where she ran 2:29. But this shoe has been tweaked and it will not be record eligible. So I have so many thoughts on this, but I just want to know I do want to preface this entire conversation by saying I am a huge Faith fan. I love me some Faith. And I think that Faith has really changed and evolved women's distance running. I don't think you see, some of these people like Beatrice Gibet doing these things without Faith really just changing the game entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I have a lot of buts.
You don't believe she's going to get it done.
I do not. But then I have some other things I also want to discuss. But I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I think it's insane to even set this up. I think it shows just the barriers that we thought were the right barriers are not. They're all moving. It shows you where the sport's at. I'm fascinated by the shoes. I don't know. I haven't watched much about this or read up on this. I've obviously seen a couple headlines, so I'm intrigued by it. I think it's just too big of a leap, but I think much like Kipchoge, even if she gets in the ballpark, it'll be eye opening. And then do they have another one? Or what tweaks do you make? Or does it change the mentality of what people think is possible for women in the mile? So I think it's too big of a leap, but I'll happily eat a shoe if I'm wrong. I won't eat a shoe, but I'll admit I was wrong. And I'm fascinated by the tech. I think some of the stuff is just so old school. I some of the things I have seen is the sports bra is super innovative and different. I'm why is this not something that's a priority?
Shout out to my old teammate or training partner, Shalea Kip. Yeah. Because she did a study this year on how sports bras actually constrict your breathing. And it's well, of course
aren't you running faster?
Why have we never addressed that? Think about it, you have something just compressing on your chest. Whether you have boobs or not, you're still wearing one. It's just constricting you. So I think that is interesting, this innovative sports bra.
Tell me about the shoes. Go ahead.
I don't
tell
know
me
that
what
much
you think.
about it. They've been really secretive about them. So we don't really know. But I'll tell you can I tell you my 3 big gripes and we can quickly talk through them? One is that the amount of time we're asking her to shave is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Last year, Jakob Ingebrigtsen was trying to break the world record in the 1,500, which is 3:26 something. And he ran 3:26 something and still needed 0.3 or I don't remember how much, 0.6 of a second. And that's astronomical to overcome. This is asking him to go run 3:20. Okay. The time that we're asking her to shave, it's just ridiculous. My second thing is the only reason that this is getting attention is because it's a male barrier. The 4-minute mile barrier is built around men. And why does a woman have to break a men's barrier to be significant? And then my third thing is people are like, well, even if she doesn't do it, at least she's finally getting attention. And that is another gripe of mine. Faith is a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. 3-time. No one else has ever done that. She already stands alone. She has 2 world records. She had 3. 5,000 got broken. She doesn't need this thing with gimmicky shoes and pacers and whatever to make her significant. She already is significant. Why aren't we telling that story?
Mm-hmm.
And here are my reasons why I don't think it's going to happen, even though I hope I'm wrong. I mean, it would be super exciting. We're asking her to shave off so much time. We're talking about a woman who is 31 years old and who is already, I don't know how many times world champion and 3-time Olympic champion. You can't ask her to train harder. And she's even said she didn't change her training at all. So you can't ask her to train harder. You can't ask her to like dial in her nutrition more. This is the Olympic champion. Okay.
Right.
The greatest of all time. Like without a doubt. Like there's nothing for her to dial in that sense.
Right.
And therefore it does come down to pacing and potential shoe tech and maybe the clothing. I don't know. I don't know enough to know how that could make you that much faster. And so it's not really even about Faith anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So anyway, those are my gripes.
Those are all valid. Do you think I had one that I was going to push back on, but I forgot?
Okay, I'll tell you. Do you need me to remind you?
Yeah, no, say it again. Yeah.
Okay, what was my first one? Oh, how much time she had to shave off.
Yep.
The men's barrier, and she should already be getting attention.
I'll challenge the men's barrier a little bit. I mean, I think it's just like a round number, you know, like why did 4 become it's just like a flat number, and it could become a woman's barrier. It's not really a men's barrier anymore, to be honest. Like it's just like a benchmark. Like it's a
But
flat
that's my
number.
point. It's not a barrier for men anymore. And yet we still salivate over how many college kids broke 4 minutes.
We should stop doing that.
Well,
that's
Track
not
and
a
Field
men's
News
barrier.
tried to stop it because they said there's no point in counting this anymore. And people pushed back. I'm like,
well,
no,
they should
no.
stop because this is a women's barrier, actually. How about that?
No, that's fine. I just think that a lot of the attention is because it's this men's, it's because it's a barrier that people, runners or not, have been told is this crazy barrier.
Right.
And I am excited that Nike is finally doing one of these things with a woman. I'm super excited because Nike has the power to do this. They can drive the attention. They can get people like Alex Hutchinson to write these awesome pieces on it. All of that is good. For me, it's like, why haven't we already explained how fucking crazy good she is? Right. And why haven't we been able to explain what 405 would mean? I mean, 405 is what she's done already at 407 is way better than sub. You know what I mean? Like the context we haven't, I guess I just feel like we've let some of these groundbreaking female athletes like Faith down. Faith should be, and I know she's a star. I know she is, but not to the average person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And why haven't we just been going all out on who she is and what she's done? Why does it have to be, you know, I was reading something today and they were saying, well, the good news is it's brought so much more attention to her. And I'm like, that makes me want to rip my hair out.
Yeah,
why did we have to do this thing to get her attention? But I'm glad you pushed back. You're right.
It's also a little bit of a blueprint. Like Kipchoge was insane. Like he's so consistent. His times are incredible. Like what's he going to do next? World records, like the insole flopping out of the shoe. But I feel like there was a whole nother level of stardom once he went after the breaking 2.
You're right.
And he got so close. So like maybe it's just like, we have the star. How do we elevate her? Oh, this worked for him. And again, I know that's irritating, but it's like, this is a bit of a blueprint. So let's make sure our female athlete gets that same platform. Now, the number is fucking crazy, but so is sub 2 kind of. Like, I don't know what didn't he have to shave off like a minute and a half?
Yeah, I wonder. I'm not good at math on the fly because I wonder what a minute and a half
like relative,
is in a marathon versus 7 seconds in a mile.
It's probably not. It's probably,
I feel like the 7 seconds is way harder. But yeah.
But yeah,
do you think it's going to happen?
No.
Okay.
But I hope that, you know, I mean, and I agree with you, like this shouldn't be the way that we make stars because all of it is gimmicks.
Right.
And it's not like keeping the main thing. Like, how about if we just sell our sport and what she's done is fucking awesome. And why don't people understand that? Like, how do we get them to get that what she's done is already better? Like, she doesn't need to break 4 to prove anything. Like, she's worthy of being elevated to Kipchoge or greater status.
Well, I'm diehard, so I will watch it and I will support her. I always said, like at NBC, I'm like, we need to do a montage to like George Michael's Faith and just show this iconic career. I mean, she won World Cross barefoot as a junior. Like what? Like there is so much to work with here. You know,
Yeah.
let's show this woman and how incredible she is. And I'm gonna watch it. And even though I don't think it's gonna happen, I hope she proves me wrong. And I hope that I can be a little bit more like you and just say, hey, this is still for the good instead of feeling annoyed by it.
Yeah, I mean,
Be like Des.
no, it's an interesting thing though, because if it happens and it's like she's elevated into superstardom, then like
Then it was worth it.
one more blueprint for the gimmicks, like one more
Right.
point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then it's like, well, who's next and how do we do it? And like, we need some Grand Slam racing and not just running for time.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, well, thanks for going on that roller coaster ride with me. Are you
Yeah,
going
I
to watch
loved
it?
it.
You can't watch it. You'll be at Western States on a panel.
No, I'm not. That's like at 10 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was like, wait, what panel? And
I saw it on Scott Jurek's thing, not even yours.
yeah, no, I'll put it on. I'll probably throw it on my laptop or find it where it's
Yeah.
at.
Yeah, there's
But, yeah, I'm
Nike is
intrigued.
streaming it for free.
And I'm going to go back to the apparel tech for females. Like, I think that's great. Anytime there's someone innovating and being like, oh, we can make this better.
Mm-hmm.
They probably won't get their flowers because of that weird cut in the Olympics. I don't remember seeing a single labia pop out.
And thank God for that.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I watched this thing about how they were making it, and it's really interesting. It's what is the word? It used to be called flying it at Nike, but it's like stitched out, right? And it's so thin. And then people are like, oh, you're using plastic. How wasteful. And I was just like, oh my God. Every sport is so wasteful with equipment and everything. Where do you think all these hockey skates are going or bats or all this stuff? Like it's all
Yeah.
freaking wasteful. I'm not saying that they can't evolve into something more eco-friendly, but it's hard for me to compliment Nike. At least they are doing something new and trying something out of the box and trying something to help a female athlete. You know what I mean? My God, this whole world is just like, and I can be like that too. It's just like, here's this thing we're trying. Meh, let me dump on it.
Here's why it sucks. Die. Yeah, totally.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was good. Okay, one more topic where we were going to quick hit on before we wrap this party up.
Fire away.
This could be controversial. I'm not sure how our listeners will take this, but Boston Marathon made an announcement that they're adjusting time qualifiers for downhill races. So I might be saying this wrong, but I thought it was 3,000 to 5,999 feet of descent. You add 10 minutes, and then 6,000 and up, you add 20 minutes to your qualifier. I think that's what it said. But it's been wild to watch this eruption of people be upset about it or celebrate it. And when I heard it, this is what I don't get. When I heard it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Same thing. I'm afraid to walk into these waters. To be honest, I just feel like
don't leave me on this island.
I agree with you. I fully agree with you. I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. Like, tweak it a little bit. Here's the thing: is like to me, one, it's their race, it's their tradition. They can move things however they want, and if you want to be a part of it, you're going to adapt probably. But I mean, I think they're trying. They're trying
Right.
to figure out how to best make their race accessible and fair and worth chasing and all these different things. And it's like, dude, this is a moving process. It's like,
right.
it's not set in stone forever. Like they could change it next year if it doesn't work out well. I don't know. It seems to make sense to me.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay. I love that we're keeping this one super, super short because I was following it on the socials and people had a lot of thoughts.
I'm sure.
And yeah, about gatekeeping or cheating or whatever. And I just thought, when I read it, I thought, Oh, that makes sense. So I don't know. I don't get it.
Leave us your comments about what you
Yeah.
think and about what you think about what we think.
I know. Okay, well
Maybe
that was
Chris
the
will
thing.
chime in. Maybe he'll
I
slam
know I
something
kept
in
thinking he would chime in and
the
be like, "Well,
text.
Kara." But
Yeah.
anyway. Okay. Well, you know what? I just have to say that at Grandma's Marathon it starts really early.
What time does it
There
start?
the half marathon starts at 6.
Okay.
And then
Ryan started at 6.
he did. Okay, so it's so early. And so
Yeah.
I'm, in my hotel room. I have to get up at 4:30 or whatever to get down to the broadcast booth, and I can't sleep because I'm like so paranoid. And then I thought, you know what I miss?
I
My
know what you
Lagoon
guys.
pillow.
You didn't bring it with you?
I didn't have it. No. And I was staying at a
Dang.
nice hotel in Duluth. It's called Vickers, and they actually have pillow selections, but
They need a Lagoon
they don't have a
library.
Lagoon. Yeah,
I
they
actually
do.
think that would be a great thing for Lagoon to do is create a pillow library for runner hotels.
Yeah, that's a good
Because they
idea.
have like the styles, right? And you could
Mhm.
do the survey
Yeah.
and then you could rent one for your
It actually,
stay.
dead serious, it would be a perfect fit for Vickers because they have a pillow thing where you can request different pillows.
Yeah, you guys should link up.
Yeah.
Lagoon and Fickers.
In Vickers, yeah. I'm hoping you'll stay there next year. So yeah. I'm trying. Oh, Des. I
Yeah.
mean, we definitely need to go back to Lagoon, but so many Save the 10,000 shirts this weekend.
Oh, that's
It
cool.
was so cool. Like Dakota was so I already had seen a few out on the 5K course, and then
Nice.
Dakota was being interviewed during the press conference, and this woman asked a question, and Dakota goes, "Hey, Kara, look, Save the 10,000 shirt." The woman was wearing a Save
Nice.
the 10,000 shirt. So I saw quite a few. It was so awesome.
Did you like the color?
It looked great. It looked great on everyone that I
Love
saw.
it.
Everyone had the
Yeah.
tank top that I saw.
Oh, yeah. The tank
And they
top
all
was
looked
a hit.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, but back
Good
to
to hear.
Lagoon.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you get any sleep the night before Ryan's race?
I did. Yeah, it's been really hot here, and he was like, "I'm just gonna sleep downstairs with the fan on, and then I can get up and not wake you up," because I've been sick
Hmm.
also. So I came back from Brooks, and I was very happy to snuggle up with my Lagoon pillow because I was out for like 24 hours. It's like,
Ew.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gross. I need to wash it. Um, but yeah, he got up at like 4:30 in the morning, and I was like, cool. And then I slept till I think around halfway through his race, and then drove out. But it's cool. It's an out and back, so you could
Oh,
just pop
nice.
in on the course. And then like the whole second half, I saw him, and he wasn't having like the best day. Like he was kind of grumpy. And then I could kind of tell he didn't want to see me. So I'm just gonna go to the finish.
You're doing it. I love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
But all that to say, I slept fantastic. No
On your
problems for
chinchilla.
me. Yeah. As cool as a chinchilla.
So jealous. I was missing my otter.
Do we have a coupon code for Lagoon that the people can use, or could they drop to the show notes and
Drop to the show
hit the
notes. We
link,
definitely have a code
and we'll put the
for
code in
your
the show
first
notes
time
as well.
ordering. Yeah.
It might be coming up now. Hold on. No comment on
Nope.
Boston, but Chris
Nobody
is chiming
asked.
in.
All lower class lower class, lowercase. No class. It's
Wow.
oh no,
All
it's all
caps.
upper class. Uppercase. Oh my god. It's a high class uppercase letter. Nobody asked.
It's an upper class pillow. Nobody asked.
No
We've
one's going
lost
to
her.
think this is funny but us. Okay. All upper class. Oh, no. All uppercase letters. Nobody asked, and you get 15% off. I have no class. Okay, let's do a Lagoon pillow top 5. Put me out of my misery. I can't talk right now.
Wow. So many layers to that. We'll get into it one day. A top five.
Top 5.
For the pod episode, softened by Lagoon's plush pillows.
Okay, I'll start.
You have to hit the comments really quick.
Okay. Oh. It's not nobody asked. It's nobody asked us. All caps.
Oh, shit.
Pull it together. Pull it together. Okay. So if you want to get your Lagoon pillow, use nobody asked us, all caps, for 15% off. And now we're gonna do our Lagoon top 5. Des and I have had some problems here. We can't stop crying and laughing. Okay.
Oh boy, that was fun. Okay, yeah, so the code is nobody asked us, all caps, 15% off. How do we feel about that? Are we gonna
So great.
head into the top 5 for the day?
Yes, let's do it. Top 5.
I'm tearing up. What a day. What a
day.
Do you want me to start it?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go. I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to say Ryan Linden getting his BQ.
That's a good one.
What a run. He got it done on a tough day.
On a tough day when he didn't want to see his wife.
I know. I think his back's going to be okay.
Well, it needs to be. Yeah. So good luck with that recovery, Ryan.
Good luck, Ryan. Thoughts and prayers.
I'm going to keep it simple too. Number 2, I'm going to shout out my son, Colt Goucher, who had only had about 7 runs since his break and got 10th overall and ran awesome in the Willie Mae Irving 5K. He ran his second fastest time ever, 17:48, and he outkicked a couple guys. And then I will also shout out the guys that he outkicked, who hugged him after and were super nice to him and congratulated on his Instagram. And it was just like an awesome showing of camaraderie.
Love it. Okay, I like camaraderie. I'm going to go with the Brooks World Championship Marathon team, Susanna Sullivan, Erica Kemp, and Jess McLean. But also we didn't mention CJ Albertson, who's on the men's team. So good little group that's going to do amazing things in Tokyo. I'm stoked for them.
That's awesome. I am going to shout out Grandma's Marathon because I love it so much. And it's one of the top 10 marathons in the United States of America. And you should definitely come and run it. And the people who run it love it so much. And it's such a fun part of Duluth life and the culture and the community here. So I was super excited to be able to be there this year and be a part of it in a small way.
Nice. Good one. I actually have run Grandma's half.
What?
Fun fact for you. Yeah, I was runner-up a couple years ago. Not a couple years ago, like 20 years ago or something.
You said you had never been there. Did you just forget?
I don't think I said that. I feel like maybe you've...
What year was that?
Might have been like 2014.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great race.
That's so awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go with the last one. And we just had the longest day of the year, which is great. The sun's up and it is summer. So I'm going to go with summer as a season. And we bitch about winter weather all year long. And then summer comes and then we bitch about summer weather. I'm excited for it. I'm ready. Bring on the heat. And I'm just going to say bring on the heat because we're headed to Austin for pod retreat and it's going to be hot.
I'm excited for pod retreat. We will record at least one episode there, and I'm nervous about what we'll say because we'll all be together and it'll be hilarious. But yay, that was a good top 5. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Love it.